that happens, how do you work through it with the players, either at the time or in the meetings later?
Well, I did a poor job of working through it. Tried to continue with cadence just to, force them in the moment to overcome a little bit of a setback in the drive, but we're certainly not there yet.
Sometimes there's days like that after a day off. Did you learn something about your team as a result?
Well, that part of it really, I was jacked about the way our team practiced. Coming off of 6 days, 1 day off, and how they attacked it yesterday. I mean, you couldn't have asked for better energy, attitude, body language. It just wasn't good at the end for one side, the way it ended. But up until that point, I thought our guys practiced their rear ends off, and I thought it was outstanding for having a day off the day before.
Todd, you mentioned last week that once you get into preseason games, obviously adds the layer where the quarterbacks can get hit. What extra layer of evaluation does that give you when they're live?
Well, it does. I mean, in terms of getting the ball out, got to learn to get the ball out. Got to learn how to slide, right? Not going to be able to just run around. I do want playmaking ability, so there is a balance there between playmaking ability and taking some sacks. You're going to have to live with that to an extent. The other part is stacking plays where it matters, because I got the scoreboard on in terms of points you put on the board. In terms of the flow of the game, that's a big part of it. We're going to be on the road. The ebbs and flows of positive plays and negative plays, overcoming that. I think there's a part of their quarterback's body language, how they are around the team. Do I sense, hey, that's over, I've moved on to the next play? So there's a number of things you get to evaluate once you get to the closest we have in terms of games, which is preseason.
Are you ready to say who might start at quarterback yet?
Not yet. We're hopeful to get him back soon. I mean, you'd have to talk to medical people about that, but we're hopeful to get Mike back soon. He got off such a great start. He's such an explosive player. We're hopeful to get him back soon.
Todd, how difficult has it been for you to evaluate the offensive line when you've had guys in and out because of injury?
Well, it's part of it. I mean, it's everybody goes through it. Every team goes through nagging injuries where guys are in and out of the lineup each day. So, I mean, you can still evaluate the guys that are in there. I think it's harder to build a cohesive group. It's not as hard to evaluate. You can evaluate guys individually, but cohesively it's a lot better. And yesterday we were the closest to having that, and I expect that today as well.
Todd, with Spencer essentially kind of getting promoted to the first team, I mean, on the offensive line, is it really just right guard? I mean, Elton is taking over first team snaps, so right guard.
Ultimately, that's it. I mean, we're still in that process of it. I think Tevin has the advantage there from experience, and he's played before. He's played right guard, so he has the advantage, but we're still, in every position, we're still competing. But as of now, I'd say up front, that's it.
I was asking Travis about Carson Ryan as a fullback. Can you utilize your fullback package with him as much as the other guy, Burton?
It's a work in progress. I think he is learning how to keep his pad level down, keep his legs driving on contact. This isn't an easy training ground for that when you're going against some really good ends, but that's part of the process. And I've said that before, especially with tight ends and fullbacks and the O-line, I guess, but those guys, especially the advantage in college is you get to hit in the spring. So we really don't get a hit in the spring. You really don't know. You can gauge footwork, landmarks, hand placement, but you can't evaluate strike. So right now we're working on placement and strike and finish.
So if we get the depth chart today, the unofficial depth chart, should we not necessarily assume that whoever is in one spot at quarterback is going to start on Saturday, or will they?
Well, unless Peter screwed it up, it should say or. So unless Peter didn't, somehow there was a typo, it should say or.
I asked Travis about this as well. How much does the rotating of the quarterbacks kind of play into the cadences and some of the pre-snap stuff we're seeing just because
Some of that does. Oh, yeah, exactly right. It's the same when you're under center, taking a snap. Whether it's Dylan, Talon, any of the other quarterbacks, a little bit different. The cadence is a little bit different. You're exactly right, working through that. But also at this point, after spring and whatever we are, 3 weeks-ish into it, that's a little bit of an excuse. I mean, that's really, it's going to be a part of it, but hell, we're playing a game this week. I mean, shit, you're going to be with a different quarterback. You're going to be with a different center. I mean, that's our job, is to make sure it's not an issue.
How do you prepare?
Just with the game, you know, there's so many variables that just come into play that you can't control, the uncontrollables. Is there any way to simulate those ahead of time, or is this really the real beauty of these three opportunities? Is that you can't? It's all completely unscripted.
You try as much as you can. I mean, we have move the ball periods, which simulates having to call it. I mean, everything we do should eventually simulate like what you're going to get in the game. From our drill work, if our drill work doesn't show up on the field, then we're doing the wrong drills. I mean, I heard that one all the way back when I was a kid on the practice field with my dad. If we're doing drills that don't show up on the practice field, so you take meetings to the individual to group to team to the preseason to the games. That's the closest you're going to get. And then ultimately, the gauge is being able to move the ball, and again, that you're keeping score. We're not out here keeping score. We're just installing, trying to evaluate, and then we'll get a chance, like I said, when we move the ball a little bit, and then we get a chance to play in the preseason, being able to stack plays offensively and defensively.
How do you prepare for stuff that might come up in your first game as an NFL head coach? I mean, the challenge flag comes to mind, but are there other things that you're going to have to go, okay, this is my first time doing this?
Well, when we were at the owners' meeting, I met with a couple head coaches that for the first time did it last year and talked to them a little bit about the off season to start, then the season, then being on the sidelines. When the officials came in the spring to visit, I met with them for an hour of what they saw from first-time head coaches and the mistakes they make. So all you can do is prepare as best you can with those that have been through it, like we all do, and from an official standpoint, how they view it and how they see it, and then you go from there. And that's the cool thing about this. This isn't just for the players. This is for the coaches as well. This is for myself. This is with Rudy, right? This is for Byron. We're all going through it for the first time, and I can't wait. It's going to be really cool.
Were you always in the
Well, unfortunately, we send them back with their head coach being emotionally hijacked, which isn't a good thing, okay? So, and I told them that this morning that can't happen. I should have just gone to a different cadence. Let's let us play out the drill. I was obviously frustrated. So, again, we're never too old to learn, right? Keep processing, getting better. And so that's one thing we sent them home with.
Were you always in the press box, coach's box as an offensive coordinator and all your stuff?
I have been. The last time I've called it on the field would be at Southern Miss.
So will it be any different from you? How
Oh, hell yeah, it's going to be different. I mean, it's different because you can't spread everything out, right? You have emotion around you. You have noise, right? You have the immediate sideline that you have to deal with. You can connect with the quarterback. There's some positives and some negatives to both of that. It's different. Sure it is. But it's football. I mean, I call it out there, right? I call it at Southern Miss. I mean, just pick one and let it rip, right? That's what you got to do, right? It's what you prepare for. That's what you lean on the staff for. I mean, pick one and let's go.
Do you have
go two more.
that the Bears are only going to start their starters for a series or whatever you're planning on doing? Are you guys trying to match it up a little bit?
I have no idea what they're doing. We'll see when we get there. I mean, we're going to do what we do. Some of that will play off what they do, a little bit offensively. We certainly want to be able to evaluate our quarterbacks, so we certainly can't put them at risk if they have their one defensive line out there, right? I mean, that's probably the biggest item on the table. Will be how long our starters up front will play will be determined by how long their starters up front play.
Todd, kind of going back to, you mentioned Southern Miss, that obviously different level, different, it's been a few years ago, but how much can you draw from that past head coaching experience for you? How much have you drawn from that as you've gone through it now for the first time at this level?
There is some of that, but that was a while ago. I probably am able to draw off the last 6 years more than I can all the way back then, being an assistant coach for Kirby Smart and for John Harbaugh. I think you're going to draw from that. What's most recent? There are certain things back when I was at Southern Miss as the head coach that you do draw from, but I would probably say just over the last 6 years, getting a doctorate in coaching by being super fortunate to be around those guys and how they handled everything from the off season to training camp to game day. And so very fortunate to get the head coaching job now compared to before then. I will just say that. What was that? Was an explosive player. Some of it ended up by scheme. We're on some trap schemes that he was able to blow up and get in the backfield. Some that were really good play calls, and that's a good sign for us defensively that he's able to do that. He's been doing it really all camp. It just showed up yesterday a little more often.
How do you design a play that confuses a defense but doesn't confuse your guys?
There's a lot to that. I think as Harbs used to say it, elegant simplicity. You know, how do you build a system that for yourself, your guys are able to play fast without being so simple to where it's you create tendencies. But I would say this, that if you're really, really good, you're going to have tendencies. Your tendencies are to do what you do well and get the ball to the players that are explosive players that allow you to put points on the board. So with that being said, you've got to have your core system that you rely on, and then how you build it each week per opponent is where we've got to and have been, tried to drill down, again, to make sure that our guys are on the same page.
When you promoted the two rookies yesterday, you obviously informed them before you informed us. How big a deal do you make that? Do you say it in front of the team, or do you just slip them in there?
I don't have to say it. It's pretty obvious. I mean, what I see is what everybody's going to see, right? Guys are making plays. It's real simple. Make a bunch of plays, you move up the depth chart. Don't make a bunch of plays, you move down the depth chart.
But you don't announce it to the team in the meeting?
No, I don't. I mean, I guess I could. You know, they noticed it when they lined up. Okay, that's who's there. I mean, and it's basically for them to know, like, all right, who's there? Well, pretty easy. If we can't tell, then we won't do it. If we can tell, and who knows, after this weekend, we might switch it. I mean, that's where we're at now, and those are the guys that have done it every day, and that's where we'll go from there.
When you talk about getting hijacked emotionally, is that something that you feel the need the next day or that day to say something to the players about that, or do you just like?
I said it to the offense. I said it to those guys. I told them that in that moment, you know, what I should have done and what I didn't do. And that, as I've said to them and us, I mean, we're human. You know, I got fired up. I was pissed. And that was awful. That was shitty football. And that is going to get me fired up. And I have to own some of that. Obviously, we haven't coached it well enough. There were other aspects about the 2-minute that got me fired up that obviously was a reflection of coaching. I mean, those things, we're getting plenty of effort. You guys are fighting their rear ends off. We're tough. So we got that. Okay, well, how are we going to do the little things well? And that's coaching. That's me, and that's our staff.
Last one, Daniel.
I swore, secondly, we said 2.
I tried.
And we're at like 7.
We saw Dylan Sampson make a really impressive kind of toe tapping catch on the sideline yesterday. It seems like you guys are making an effort to get him the ball in the passing game. And when you look at kind of parallels, do you think that what you did with Justice Hill in Baltimore is kind of like a third down pass catch? And do you think that's a fullback name parallel comparison to what you do here?
I think those guys can be, like your tight ends, can be matchup guys if they've got the right skill set. And so I think Dylan's on his way to that. That play that happened yesterday happened organically on a scramble. He did a great job of turning up the sidelines. And that's where you saw SHEDEUR's elite playmaking ability. And that's the one thing that between him and also Deshaun, when you've got guys, and Dylan, same way, Talon, when you've got guys that are 2-play quarterbacks, you're going to have to live with a little bit of lost yardage plays. I mean, that's part of it. You can go back to Ben Roethlisberger and he would lead the league in sacks, and the son of a gun would lead the league in scrambles and jacking that thing down the field about 60 yards and making explosive plays. So there's going to be a little bit of that you have to live with. You got to shrink that. But what you saw was an elite play by two playmakers. It's fun to watch. And the defense allowed us to let it play on. I mean, that's what they're doing a great job of, is let it play on, let us evaluate the back end and our ability to make plays when a play breaks down.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That is